regarding Johansson's research on the three issues, how realistic or how true is it, according to the Pali Canon, to the Sangha's interpretation? How real is it?
How
true is it?
How true is what?
Or how realistic is his research? Is it his own perception or interpretation?
Very comprehensive. Until now, I don't think there's any other paper, since so many years, there's no any other paper that has done a more comprehensive research as he has.
I see.
Right.
So this is near to the truth that he has done. I would say that since it's the only research that he done.
Yes. I think it's very close.
Thank you very much.
Good. Actually, he's done it in a more sophisticated way. I've just simplified everything for us to grasp easier.
Can you elaborate on sentience?
Sentience means being conscious. Conscious.
Like how?
The citta is conscious, so is the mano conscious, vijnana is also conscious. It just has the basic quality of awareness.
Not in the daily actions or how like...
No. It's just the quality of being conscious. For example, this table is not sentient, right? It doesn't have consciousness. It doesn't have the awareness. So, citta, mano and vijnana all have awareness.
It's more awareness.
Yes.
Whereby, because like only the sentience, so-called conditioned and constructed, and also the citta is like going to the vijnana.
Again?
It's linked to the vijnana aspect. It's
right.
having a vijnana.
Yeah. But actually, from the Abhidhamma model, right? Vijnana is actually part of citta. Abhidhamma model.
Yep.
Because citta encompasses all the four aggregates, right?
Correct.
Including vijnana.
Correct.
I would like to ask that the mind energy of citta and mano towards the death moment. Because since only citta can be liberated, so does it mean that at the death moment only citta can help us to lead to the good death?
You see, the word citta is used in such a way that it overlaps with vijnana. If you look at the Abhidhamma model, like I said just now, vijnana is part of citta. And if you look at vijnana, there are altogether 6 types of vijnana. Eye consciousness, and then ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and finally mano vijnana, which is mind consciousness. So actually mano vijnana or mano is actually part of the citta. As you say, it's very complicated. But the question I asked is a very simple one that is related to the usage of manokamma, which is just an adjective of the word kamma.
Just now in the chart, Bhante showed that vinaya is the one carried into the rebirth process.
Right.
But before the rebirth process,
yes,
at the death moment, I don't know how long is the death moment, but in that death moment, how much energy we can use to guard the citta and mano? Sorry, I'm not sure whether I asked correctly.
We'll be talking about it later.
Okay.
Alright, don't jump the gun. Okay.
I give an analogy, like for human, so I can look at it from a Western medicine angle. I can also look at it from a Chinese medicine angle.
Mm-hmm.
So, from your understanding, the usage of the word like citta or mano, is it like when we use it conceptually differently? So for example, when you talk about the elements in the sutta, in a particular discourse, then you will not talk about the 5 aggregates. So it's like, at that time during the discourse, you are looking through the Western medicine lens. And another discourse, we are looking at it at the Chinese medicine lens.
Okay.
Then could there be words whereby it's similar, but then when we use it, then actually it's a totally different understanding under a different conceptual framework? For example, Western medicine, when I talk liver, then I'm talking about the organ. Then the TCM, when I talk about the liver, I'm talking about the function. So could there be such a thing when we compare this? So this is why it looks a bit confusing.
Yeah, it's actually very contextual. It's very contextual. You have to look at the particular context in which the word is used. Yeah, sometimes they are used interchangeably, citta and mano. Sometimes the word vijnana is used to mean the whole of the citta. But sometimes it's just as a part of the citta. So it depends on the context. So when you talk about the rebirth process, how rebirth takes place, we Buddhists don't talk about souls, right? So we talk about vijnana, how vijnana so-called transfers from one existence to another. Right? That vijnana is not just one part of the citta, it is actually the whole citta.
Okay.
So in that context, vijnana is used to mean everything, including all the vedana, sanya and saṅkhārā.
Bhante, in the chart there, it says that only mano is a sense organ.
Right.
Now, the mano perceives what? Because like our eye perceives seeing, the ear perceives hearing. What does mano perceive? Does it perceive the three mental aggregates or something else?
That's why it's called the coordinator, because it perceives everything. It perceives all the 5 sense objects, as well as concepts and ideas and mental objects. For example, it can be aware of its own mental states, sanya, vedana, saṅkhārā. The mind can also be aware of beyond the 6 senses. For example, nibbana and other things. So it has almost a limitless domain of consciousness.
Is mano the I in us?
Again?
The I in us, the me and the I in us. The one that clings to everything.
Right.
The one that clings so that we make story to protect ourselves.
That is not the mano, that is saṅkhārā. But the saṅkhārā that is related to mano vijnana. You know about the 5 aggregates, right?
Yes.
We have Chakku vijnana and so forth, the ending with mano vijnana.
Yes.
And so the vijnana of consciousness is related to each of the senses.
Right.
So the eye consciousness, the ear consciousness, the nose consciousness, the tongue consciousness, the body consciousness doesn't have the sense of self. The sense of self only comes in the mano consciousness.
Is it the sixth one?
Yes, the sixth.
Intellectual one?
The 6th sense. But as I said, vijnana is like pure water, is a solvent, right? Not.
Yeah.
So the vijnana itself is innocent. It is pure. It is only the saṅkhārā that arises together with the vijnana. That is the culprit. That is the one that gives you the sense of self.
Oh, the I.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
The question is, based on the interpretation of 5 khandhas just now, the sense of I amness, which aggregate would it
It will
fall
come
in?
under sanya and saṅkhārā.
So it's still a combination.
Yeah.
When we are doing meditation, then the spontaneous memory comes about, and then there is this past experiences which combined with the current situation that we are exposed to through the 5 senses.
Yes.
Then that creates a thought, a response.
Correct.
And that is what you call the manokamma.
Right.
Correct.
Yes.
And that manokamma can manifest again and with another conditions again and keep on going and going again. And actually it's endless.
Yes. Actually, the manokamma can turn into vacīkamma. If it happens just in the mind, there's manokamma. When you start to say something out, then that becomes vacīkamma. When you begin to act it out in bodily, that becomes kāyakamma.
But then in meditation itself, it's always staying in the level of mental.
Well, it depends on what you mean by meditation. It's not just sitting quietly with your eyes closed. You are meditating the whole day. You are talking, you are speaking, you are acting. That's also meditation.
Yes. When I'm talking about in the formal sitting meditation. So everything become mental. But when you open eyes, in daily activities, it can become verbal or bodily.
Right. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Can the manokamma be translated into vacīkamma and volition?
No, there are 3 different things.
It can be translated because you have manokamma is in the mind. But from the mind, you can translate into actions, verbal actions or bodily actions.
That's why I just explained just now. You see, that's why we don't say mano kāyakamma, we don't say mano vacīkamma. And we don't say manokamma. We just say kāyakamma, vacīkamma and manokamma. But the implication is that all of them have intentions. Actually, everything happens in the mind. Yeah, but it is the mind that is the precursor of any bodily, verbal or mental action. That is the intention.
But sometimes Manokamma stays and manokamma. It don't translate into anything. It's just in the mind.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why it's called manokamma.
Yeah, but it can also be translated into action.
No. Once it's translated, the action is not manokamma already. It is kāyakamma.
Yeah, it can be translated out. If not, it just stays there as mano.
Yeah. That's why there's a difference. Kaya is kaya, vaci is vaci, mano is mano.
When it stays as manokamma, we really create karma.
Of course.
But it is not translated into actions or...
It can, yeah, it does. It still...
Stays there.
Yes, it still does. You remember the 4 tree, the 10 types of ducharita? The last 3 are all mano. You don't manifest it in body or verbal action.
That means the degree of karma created in the mind is not strong because it's not translated into...
No. You see, the 10 types of ducharita, the last 3 can also lead you to hell. I go back and read the Abhidhamma. One of the last 3 is covetousness, abhijja. Covetousness means, let's say you covet somebody's wife or husband. Alright? In your mind only, you want that person. Right? But you haven't written their love letters, you haven't given any call yet. It's only in your mind, you are thinking about that. That also creates a karma that can lead you to hell. Can lah, I must say absolutely can lah. Okay. So it's the same for another one is malevolence, ill will. That ill will is a very malevolent sort of ill will. Okay? It's like in your mind. You just say, I wish this guy was struck by lightning or somebody assassinated him and then he will solve our country's problem. Okay? If this happens in your mind, you haven't done anything. It only happens in the mind. This is also grave enough to create a karma that can land you in hell. So it happens in the mind only. It's not manifested in body or speech. Delete lah. Cannot delete lah. Sorry lah. Cannot delete.
When a person is being possessed by spirit, whose citta and mano is in control?
Possession means you're possessed by the other entity. So sometimes you're conscious of what's happening, but you got no control. So the intention comes from the other entity.
So the cetana and the karma all goes to the entity.
Yeah, correct.
How to get rid of the fella?
Well, that's a different story.
Why do we translate saṅkhārā as volitional or intentional constructions? Isn't saṅkhārā just constructions?
The word saṅkhārā was used with the Buddha in many different contexts, and there are 6 major doctrinal contexts for the usage of saṅkhārā. Besides others, there are minor ones. The gist of it is that there are basically 2 types of saṅkhārā. One is the active saṅkhārā, and the other is passive saṅkhārā. Active saṅkhārā refers to all those with intention. Okay? And then passive saṅkhārā refers to all those without intention. So, what are saṅkhāras? Saṅkhāras are products of causes and conditions. For example, give you some examples. This building is a passive saṅkhārā. It's also a construction. It was brought into being by different causes and conditions. Somebody conceived of this idea and then they got the architect and the engineer to do the design, the contractors to come and build this building. Okay, so this building has become a cause and condition for us to be able to hold the workshop here. That's a passive thing. But the active saṅkhārā are all the people who were involved. The person who first conceived of the idea of having this, and then also the organizers for wanting to hold this workshop there. These are all the active saṅkhāras.
If I get you correctly, we are only taking the saṅkhārā here to mean the active saṅkhārā.
Yes, because that is how it is defined in the scheme of the 5 aggregates.
Because I was actually thinking, what happens if, let's say I have a problem, then I think of a solution. The solution didn't come intentionally. I don't think the solution comes intentionally. Let's say it's a brand new solution. It doesn't come intentionally.
Okay.
So it is a saṅkhārā or is it a saññā?
Well, initially you had the intention to want to solve that problem, no? Initially it was there. And then, later on, it was wisdom that arose to give the answer. So wisdom is also something intentional, although it is working in the background. It is because you have this desire to want to know an answer. That was the intention. And then later the answer will pop up. When the wisdom has really got a good overview of all the causes and conditions, then it will come out with an answer.